Last man standing? Impossible odds? Let's do this!
This is the Clucked Chickens, a podcast about Realm Royale. Woohoo! Happy Tuesday, everybody! Welcome to the Clucked Chickens, episode Diez. Woo!
Yes, episode Diez.
You know what? Hey, 10. Welcome, everybody. OctoOG here. As always, I got Donut on one side, CathySoo on the other. How you guys doing today?
Good. Great.
Yeah, really good.
Oh my God. What a week. We got class. So what's kind of crazy is last week we started talking about classes and they're coming back. And we got to play a little bit of it last week. We didn't really talk about it. And now we're back sort of a week later after seeing what's happened in Realm over the last week to sort of talk about what craziness has transpired.
Definitely a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on.
There's a lot of stuff. Kathy, how you feeling about it so far?
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'm excited to see what the community says in chat about everything we have to share today, and there's some exciting stuff going on.
Oh yeah, no, it's really, really cool. So first thing, a little bit of a paperwork thing that we're doing. Over the last 10 episodes, we've been pretty much right in with patch notes, and we don't want to just be vomiting up the patch notes that happened beforehand. We want to make this entertaining enough for everybody so that you guys can get great information, but also, you know, give you the information that is important. So Kathy, Donut, and myself, we all got together and we were sort of we're gonna start talking about the fact that getting a little bit more into like our opinions, talking about what's going on, but where things are going, talking about the warrior, maybe talking about have Donut talk about the build outs and stuff like that, Kathy's build outs, how she's done it. And then what we're gonna also try and do is get some of the hopefully get some larger streamers in here to talk with us how their experiences are. So these are sort of the goals that we're gonna try and do for the podcast. And Donut, Kathy, anything else you want to?
No, I like it. I like where we're going with it. I agree. It's good to always have the patch notes in our podcast to let you guys know in case you miss it or in case you're not sure where to find it. We're a good source for all the patch notes and all the updates packed into one little ball here.
Little happy place.
Yes, a little happy place. But I also like to be able to open up into an open discussion where we could give our opinions from my point of view, your point of view, because we all have different opinions, and let the viewer decide, what they want to gauge for themselves. Who's
right? Yeah, who's
exactly.
right? Yeah.
It'll be me most.
Mostly, definitely me, and sometimes Kathy. So on that as well. So I want to jump right into the podcast tonight because we do have a lot of things to go over today. So the first thing we want to talk about is what are we going to be talking about tonight, which is pretty crazy, but class perks. We didn't know what the class perks were except for the warrior, so we're going to sort of go through that, talk about the pros, the cons, how things are going, talk about all the new stuff that actually came into the game. There's a controversy out there about timers. There's also a little bit of controversy happened this week about Gamepedia. Some people were talking about it. There was like yays, there were nays, there were questions what was going on. So we want to talk about that. There's some things going on in the Realm Royale community a lot. A lot of people are making content online that a lot of people don't know about, and we want to be able to sort of bring them out to you guys, like guides, and there's a lot of stuff out there. And lastly, we want to go over the future updates and see where we're going and things that we know, and hopefully where we might end up in the future. So
nice.
Okay, so without further ado, class perks. We heard a lot about Warrior last week. We heard that we were getting Heroic Leap and all these pieces. Donut, what is your opinion of the Warrior at this point in time?
My opinion of the Warrior. Now, obviously, everything is overtuned. I'm not going to go and be trying to target the Warrior and only the Warrior, but everything's overtuned. So technically, everything's overpowered, if you will. Everything does way too much damage.
Well, so nothing is overpowered if everything's overpowered. I'm just saying.
But my opinion on the Warrior, where it stands right now with everything else, is what the same exact opinion I had in original alpha within the first 2 patches of the game's existence with the Warrior then. Everything was pretty balanced. The Warrior just seemed a little bit ahead of the curve. Whereas people will argue an assassin with a Frost heirloom rifle is ridiculously powerful, which it is. Don't get me wrong, it definitely is. But that's circumstantial. You have to forge a Frost heirloom rifle. The chances of that, you have percentage there. So you have a lot of different legendaries you can forge. The Warrior, in my opinion, is ahead of the curve as far as early to mid game, whereas end game, everyone's kind of equally powerful. I will say that early to mid game, it's easier for Warriors than it is for any other class, with Mage being a close second. But that's just my personal opinion.
There are some opinions about the Mage that I'm pretty sure people out there want to talk about in late game. So, Kathy, how about the Warrior? Have you tried the Warrior at all?
Yeah, I've tried all 4 of them because I want to see like which one is going to be my main. Because I think that's how everything's skewing in the community is you might have like 1 or 2 favorites, but everyone's kind of like seeking out their main. So I've been killed by many a Warrior. But what I think is right now when... I think when you're in the late, I think Warrior is pretty strong throughout. I think that's the biggest thing. Like, especially in the late game, there's a lot of like one-shot Warriors out there that once you get the right stuff, you really kind of get wrecked. So yeah, I mean, it's exciting to play against, but I think what's cool too is like picking up the Warrior weapons after you happen to kill one. You also get a little bit overpowered no matter what class you are. So I think it's been really fun.
Hammer.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
yeah.
Oh, sorry. I got something in my throat.
Like that, right?
Yeah.
I feel like if I see a Warrior, if we squat up and kill that Warrior, one of us is getting that hammer, and I want it to be me. So yeah, that's pretty much my synopsis of the Warrior. I don't know if anyone else is feeling that out there, but that's how I feel when I'm playing.
Yeah. Well, now, I've been seeing a lot, and a lot of people have not played the Hunter that much. But believe it or not, the Hunter is really powerful right now. Mm-hmm. That reduction in the cooldown for their dodge roll, moving faster. They deal 20% more damage with these long bows, crossbows, and short bows. The 20% lifesteal and the 50% cooldown on their flares and traps. I mean, it is brutal trying to fight against a Hunter right now.
The 2 biggest things, in my opinion, on that list is the 10% movement speed and the 20% lifesteal.
Oh God!
Which is a very powerful perk to have, especially if you have a weapon like an heirloom or even the crossbow that has more of a rapid fire. Every single shot you hit, you're getting 20% life back. If you're in a firefight, you're gonna outshoot the enemy just because you're healing yourself as you're damaging them.
Yeah, my thing is what I didn't see is that 20% lifesteal. I don't know if it's just on their weapons or if it's on any weapon. Because what I want to see is a lifesteal rune plus a crossbow, like the fire crossbow plus this. They're just going to be murderous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I didn't even think about the rune. If they have the lifesteal rune, that's 40% lifesteal. If that's on any weapon that they hold, which I think it is, I'm not sure. Yeah. That's 40% lifesteal at all times. That's a lot. That's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Kathy the other day, she was trying the Hunter, and you were having some fun with him.
No, this one is her. I think it's a her. I know there's debate out there.
It's a her. It's
definitely a her.
Yeah.
Yeah, right?
Or it's a dude with a really nice butt.
Yeah.
And
really
a
nice
butt. Haircut.
Very nice haircut too, yes.
Who's your Hunter stylist? Yeah, I like the Hunter. She's my favorite so far. Like, I really think So for me, when it comes to playing a lot of games, we've talked about like the difference between like the way I play, the way Donut plays, the way Octo plays. But as like a more casual gamer, but I do care about being competitive. Sometimes I kind of overdo it by giving Donut the credit for that. But I do have a competitive streak in me and I do want to win. So a lot of times my path to winning is through staying alive. So that's what I've appreciated. So it is the lifesteal that I'm all for. I honestly, I don't think I've won a game or gotten in the last 3 squads using the hunter weapons.
No.
I have to be honest about that. Like usually I'm a hunter with a hammer and I took all of your health and I'm still alive. So
Yeah.
there. I there's lifesteal on the other weapons because I don't think, I mean, this may be controversial too, but I love the heavy crossbow. I know it's a little bit off, but I get it.
Yeah,
so,
it's nice.
Yeah, I'm down for the heavy crossbow because once you hit that shot and then you get that life, like who can take you out? So she's been my fave. If you want to stay alive, you're just learning the game. I do feel like you should maybe start with Hunter.
Yeah, no, I got if you can aim with the Hunter, you're gonna win with the Hunter. So the next one, which is I'm not even touching this. Hit us, Donut.
Well, for the best class of the game, no, I think the assassin is. Well, I'm obviously going to say the assassin is completely balanced and it's perfect and it should not change at all. But no, I love the assassin perks. The 25% additional damage with the headshots. Remember how bummed out I was when they took away when they lowered our headshot damage, Octo, a while ago? Mm-hmm. Well, this reversed that. This downer. This is amazing. This 25% additional damage with headshots, and you could get a headshot rune on top of that, which is an additional, I think, 20%.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So if you have a headshot rune as an assassin, and you have, I don't know, any weapon, and you get if you get hit headshots, you're gonna do some crazy damage. 20% more damage with sniper rifles, and pistols, which is good chunk of the weapons that we have.
Yeah,
are pistols or rifles in some sort, slug rifle, heirloom rifle, the venom pistol, revolver, and we have the our sniper rifle. So that's 20% more baseline damage right there. So you have 20% more damage with a sniper rifle. You hit a headshot with a sniper rifle. You have a headshot rune. You're doing 40% more damage plus 20% because it's a sniper rifle. That's 60% additional damage on a headshot.
Yeah, no.
Donut, just let people give them a chance. Okay?
Yeah, give them a chance.
You can't just kill them out the gate. You have to let them run around a little bit. It's more fun. Okay,
chat. Do not worry about this. Donut can't hit a headshot to save his life, so we're good.
Now, on top of all of that, downing an enemy. Now, this used to be killing an enemy. They changed it. It was eliminating an enemy. Now it's just downing an enemy. So anytime you chicken somebody, you get a 300 health boost. A little heal there for you. So kind of equatable to the lifesteal on the Hunter. I think the lifesteal is a little bit better off because it's more during a firefight. It's better to have. Although this 300 health heal does give you a nice little boost if you happen to win the firefight, in case you're on a 2v1 situation. And then the grenades and drones have a 50% reduced cooldown. Now, as far as the drone aspect go, if anyone's using Sentry drone, I don't know why, but the concussion bomb, 50% reduced cooldown is amazing. The only thing they need to bring in there and fix is that you should be able to boost yourself back away like you used to. That's my only qualm with the assassin. The assassin's completely unbalanced. They're underpowered. They're crappy. They just need to bring back that concussion bomb. We'll be fine.
Oh God! Nobody clipped that.
Yeah, exactly.
Donut, I have a challenge for you. It comes from the chat, inspired by Ravenfather. I feel like there's a stream coming on in your future. Assassin, only gray weapons. See how many wins you can get.
Assassin with a gray bow does more damage than a hunter if they do a headshot. I'm fine with that. I'll do it.
Yeah, do not encourage him, chat. Do not.
But the assassin is extremely, now back to what I was saying about the warrior. I think they're a little overtuned early mid game. The assassin, when the assassin gets his weapons and his gear and his stuff and he's good to go, he is probably one of the most powerful classes in the game. With if you like I said earlier, if you get a frost heirloom rifle with that slow on every hit, that's good game. Heirloom rifle and a sniper rifle, that's like top tier weaponry. I think of all the end game classes and weapon choices, the assassin with a frost heirloom rifle as at least
and a fire sniper rifle,
would be better than any other class and weapon combination in the game. So I am not gonna hate on warriors and say warriors are better than everything. So there's my backup there. Assassins could be the best class in the game.
Assassins with Soar. Assassins with Soar.
Soar, and then just rain ice bolts.
Yeah, it's just rifle. Oh god. Okay. So I'm gonna take this one because this is I love the mage. The mage is ridiculous at this point in time, especially endgame. And the one thing that really just does it for me is the potion count. You have 5 extra potions. At the 5 extra potions, you're holding 15. It's absolutely nightmarish. And the soar on these things. The soar. Basically, I was not a joke. I was sitting at the Lost Forge, and I soared all the way to Jade Garden. That's how well it worked. I'm being sarcastic, but it was pretty close. That soar is absolutely amazing. Their cooldown isn't that much. And the 50% reduction on totems, walls, and blocks, it's nice. But I really think the soar and the potions are amazing.
Yeah, the potions is probably the biggest buff that mages have got.
Yeah.
I think the soar is going to get tinkered with a little bit, most likely, because you can fly forever, and if you know what you're doing, you're not going to get shot when you're flying. If you just serpentine in the air, you can just fly away. But the mages, I was in a game with Stez the other day, and he was playing mage, and I was like, it was towards the end of the game, and I'm like, oh crap, I'm out of armor potions. He's like, oh, here, and he just like vomited. Eight armor potions.
I'm fine. I got more.
Yeah, I was like, are you good? Do you have more? He's like, oh yeah, I have 15. I was like, oh yeah, we're good. So we both like fully armored up.
Yeah, no, it's pretty crazy what'll happen there. Now there has been some gab in the community. I know that Idiot Mouse has been saying this class is broken, but I believe it's very, very powerful at the end of the game, bar none. Especially when you can get into places that other people are not. But you only have a 1/3 chance at a forge of getting a decent weapon. And yes, I am calling you out, Bolt Staff and Ice Staff. I'll take the Stone Staff any day, but that Bolts, don't get me talking about that Bolt Staff. The Ice Staff is okay, but it fires just like the Paladin's one. I've not gotten used to it.
It's got a much smaller. It should have a large. The one in Realm Royale, they should match the blast radius or the area. It should be an area of effect explosion almost.
Right.
Similar to the one of Paladins, has a larger explosive radius. This one's a much smaller. I don't even know if it has an AOE effect. I think it's just like a projectile.
Yeah.
I would like to see them add it as almost like a small, like how we had the potion launcher, the plasma launcher, in a smaller scale. That will make the Ice Staff a little bit better. And the Ice Staff, the Ice Staff slows on impact, correct?
Yes. Yeah,
okay,
and
so
that I like.
Yeah.
It's just its travel speed just takes so you're like, fire. Yeah. I'm gonna take a drink, do a potion, then I'll hit. Yeah.
Although on the flip side of that, the 1/3 of that, the fire stone spear is crazy strong.
Oh, it's crazy strong.
Yeah, crazy.
Hey, we didn't talk about how crazy strong the hammer / fire axe.
The hammer is completely. I'm gonna talk about the hammer because the hammer is broken.
we're getting there. We will get to the weapons in just a second. Yeah. So, but I do like playing the mage. I love Soar. Soar is absolutely amazing. But as most people say, the Bolt Staff is at the end of the day free shards. So let's talk about these new weapons. Okay, so Heavy Hammer. Okay, I want to start there because the Heavy Hammer is... There are some little things wrong. There are some little things wrong that I think, and this is my opinion. But number one, its hitbox for hit is like this big and the hammer is that wide. So I'm expecting when I throw that hammer, it's gonna just wipe everything on the screen. But no, you can only hit there. That that is the one thing that I have a problem with, because especially if you have the reticle white, when the hammer flies by, it's white and you can't actually see it. So you're sort of aiming where the hammer is. I actually had to change mine to red so that I could actually see where I needed to aim that aim. So that's the big thing I have for the hammer. And of course the machine gun speed of how often you can throw these things.
Yeah.
What about yourself, Kathy? I mean, I know you jump like you will run, you will alley cat somebody for this freaking hammer. I know you will do it.
I love this hammer. Like, ever since it came out, I didn't expect it to even like fly the way it did. I know that they said it was going to have that like boomerang effect. I don't know. I expected like an arc. I didn't think it was going to like zip out at people like those yo-yo experts when they like throw the yo-yo at your face.
From the hip. From the hip. This thing fly. It's like this. I don't know even know. Like, he doesn't do this wind up from the side. It's just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, it's like he's flicking playing cards.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, like a Gambit situation.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, it's so rad. So yeah, like you guys called me out because Dream and Octo, you were the one that was like, I love how Kathy's. It was like when classes first got changed back, and you were like, I love how Kathy's playing Hunter with the warrior weapons, and I was like, I just really want the hammer.
The hammer's the thing is I think the hammer needs some tweaking. I think the hitbox needs to go a little higher. I think the damage believe it or not, I actually want the damage to change, whereas the damage up close is not as much, and the further out you go, it gets better damage. So it's like got acceleration damage, because that will fit the distance that they're trying to do for that weapon.
Yeah, I feel like to test that, Octo, I can hit you with a hammer up close, and then I can throw one at you and see what hurts more.
This is the love I have, Chad. This is the love I have. But Donut,
I don't like that idea is what I'm saying. I'm calling a donut. Don't mess with my hammer.
All right.
It's perfect. It's a beautiful, perfect hammer.
The heavy hammer. The heavy hammer, I think, honestly, my first honest opinion is that the damage I think is okay. If not, it does a little less damage than I thought it would, which is a good thing for me. But I think I don't know if a line of code was incorrect. I don't think they wanted to put this in the way it has, with the straight trajectory and 1 second recast time or reload time, whatever you want to call it. I think they were trying to put it in as that boomerang effect, because they didn't say anything other than they said that teleporting to the hammer could be a future thing. They were talking as if it was going to come in with a boomerang effect.
Yeah, exactly.
To start. So I personally think they might have messed up, or it's a bug that they just didn't want to say they messed up. And
it's possibility. I mean, it's a fun weapon.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, it's definitely a fun weapon. I personally hate it. Because it is huge, and the rate of fire on these hammers, and the fact that they have unlimited travel distance is mind-boggling. It puts my mind in the bottle. The fact that I can't shoot my sniper rifle as far as you can throw a heavy hammer.
Exactly.
Because my bullet is gonna fall to the ground, but your hammer will just fly off into space into oblivion.
When I was flying to Jade Gardens, I was flying next to a hammer. It beat me to Jade Gardens and went all the way to the cemetery. So just saying.
I was playing with Stez, and we're in like late game, and it was us and maybe 2 or 3 other duos left, and we're fighting at I want to say it was Lost Forge. And all I hear is literally the last 5 minutes of the game, nonstop.
Zoom.
I'm like, hey, I think that guy has a hammer up there. And then guess who killed me? It's just a wild guess.
MC Hammer.
It was the guy with the hammer. So I think they need to put that boomerang effect in, and that will help curve that ridiculously long shot distance that it has.
Yeah.
I think it'll be fine. After that, it'll be good. I would like it a lot after they add that little curve. But it also, as an assassin, trying to fight someone who's just throwing hammers in your face. These things are huge. You can't see them.
Yeah.
And if they're lightning hammers, they have the lightning effect. The little pulse effect on them. So it's more of a visual deterrent than an actual like damaging weapon.
Exactly.
It makes it harder to see your enemy when they're
Yeah.
throwing these things at you.
So we'll see what they do with this, but I mean, the hammer. This game has turned into a very hammer-centric game. We understand that. Heavy crossbow. Now, a lot of people might not have noticed that it got new art. A lot of people were like, "Oh, it looks the same." If you look, we'll have this. We'll link to this when we do the actual podcast. But the stream right now, you can actually see there's these more. It looks like a more chunky heavy crossbow now, and instead of 8 bolts, it has 6 bolts. And it hits with a hammer when you hit with this thing. Now, I know, Kathy, you use this thing religiously when you can.
Yeah, but I just started. Like, everyone was sharding them,
Mhm.
of course. And, like, I was like, no, because I was only Hunter. I was like, I want that. And they were like, okay. I heard the skepticism.
Yeah.
But, like, I got someone through a window. Like, when you hit someone with it, it's great. And so my question's for you guys, like, what is off about it? Because some people have tried to explain it to me, but when I use it, I don't get it.
What it is the speed difference of firing a regular crossbow and a heavy crossbow. It's the timing that users are used to using.
Yes.
You're used to going chick, 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 whereas a heavy crossbow goes chunk, chunk, chunk.
Yeah.
So it's
I was about to say the same thing.
yeah.
It's not the crossbows; it's the users.
Yeah, it's an issue between the keyboard and the chair.
Everyone's used to the original crossbow or the regular crossbow. That's a high rate of fire, high damage at close range, and that's what they're used to. That's what they love. They get their hands on a heavy crossbow, and if they don't notice that it's a heavy crossbow, they go to start pulling the trigger, and only one shot happens. And they're like, wait, what is the rest of my bolts? And it's not working. So it throws them off. They're not used to it. Thankfully, they changed the art now, so it's a little more easier to designate. But if you use the heavy crossbow properly at a mid to long range,
oh god, yeah,
it
dangerous.
hits like a cannonball.
It really,
especially if it's a hunter. Now, Chad is basically saying that there are the gray slug if a headshot on normal characters, but in the hands of a hunter, these heavy crossbows just will destroy and shoot at a faster rate than the slug. So it's knocking pretty hard.
Yeah, I'm gonna start going, I think, heavy and then regular. So it makes sense because the wide open spaces around like Guntown is when I first really liked this weapon. So I think it's when you have the space. So you have to really treat it like a secondary weapon. And it makes sense that I don't mind the timing because I don't play nearly as much as you guys. And so I don't think I really noticed or had any off timing. It goes perfectly with my natural rhythm of when I want to shoot people.
So the ice staff, we talked about it earlier. It's got it's one of the staffs. It has a fairly heavy hit, especially at legendary, but it has a very slow travel time. There's not much more we really could say about it. It's a decent weapon, and if you can aim with it and you can time with it, and you can do it up close, it's a deadly weapon.
Yeah, I like the ice staff. I don't mind it. I think, again, like I said, the projectile should be a little bit more. I think it should be a small area of effect explosion instead of a projectile. But if you use the ice staff similar, now I've been playing a lot of paladins recently, as you know, Octo.
Yeah.
If you use the mage similar to Eevee, which is the mage and paladins, where you fly in, you blast away with the ice staff, or you blink in, blast away with the ice staff close quarters, and then fly out.
Yeah.
Just use it as like your aggressor, aggravating. That's where it works the best, I think, close range or mid to close range at least.
Right. The one weird thing about the ice stuff, which I find, is there's 2 different firing speeds.
Yes, it has a right click.
Yes, so if you right click and aim in with it and fire, it travels a lot faster.
I don't know if that's a coding error or something that was supposed to be in there. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it's supposed to be there. I think that's a first test at a multiple ability type thing. When you aim, you do it. I don't know, but it's very interesting.
Yeah. So as of right now, that's just a little ice staff tip. If you aim down sights with the ice staff, the projectile fires much faster.
Yep.
Yeah, I like all these tips for these 3 weapons. I'm not scared of none of them. So you guys just keep talking. I'm still scared of that stone staff.
Stone spear.
Every
Stone
time I
spear,
hear
yeah,
it,
yeah.
it's the most. And when I hear one of these staffs, I'm like, whatever, pass. Someone go get that mage. Someone go play hide and seek with that mage's sword until we kill him.
Yeah.
So they also put in something called a venom pistol. So let's talk about the bolt staff.
What?
Go for it. Talk about your weapon, Donut.
The venom pistol's awesome. Okay, so the venom pistol sucks. Now
let's first say, everybody, they put the venom pistol in and they made a patch in between to increase the damage of the venom pistol. So with that in mind, Donut, how's the venom pistol?
So the venom pistol, it's not great. It was in the game a long time ago. They took it out. They renamed it and then they took it out, and now they just brought it back for assassins. Now, if you're an assassin, I will say, if you're an assassin and you have 20% pistol damage and you craft a legendary fire venom pistol and you don't have a sniper rifle or an heirloom rifle or a slug rifle or a stone spear or maybe hammers and axes, if you don't have any of those, a legendary fire venom pistol does do a lot of damage very close range because you have the poison damage tick and the fire damage tick, and it's very shocking, and it has a pretty high rate of fire. So in a very limited spot, the venom pistol shines. Right? Yeah. It does. In close range, I've had some weird desync problems with the rounds not really hitting the target where I'm aiming. It seems like they're a little off, or like I'm missing when I shouldn't be missing. But
it makes sense. It sounds like a stormtrooper pistol because
you're going to miss most of them. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. I've had plenty of close range encounters with the venom pistol where I'm definitely hitting the guy. I'm close enough. I'm definitely hitting him, and he's not getting touched. It's almost like it has too much of a projectile length. But as it stands, I think it needs a little bit more reworking still. I do want to see it still in the game because I do. I like it, but it's just not where it needs to be. Exactly. I wish it was good because I love it. Right. At this point, it's just become it's a meme now in the Realm community. The venom pistol is just a funny thing. So I would like to see it retuned and actually be usable.
The chat did say something, and I agree with them. It seems to be a bad thing with anything with the name Venom in it. So a bad week for anything with Venom in it.
I liked the Venom. I liked it.
You and every 5-year-old kid.
Yeah.
That's right.
I want to see it. And listen, I'm going to go see it. I'm going to go see it. But anyways, Bolt Staff. Meme number 2.
Yes, definitely.
Anybody like this?
I love it. I haven't even used it enough to even be qualified to talk about it. That's how crappy it is.
Well, the problem is there's a bug with it. There's a bug when you hold it. It doesn't hold correctly, and it doesn't aim correctly. It's so there's an actual holding bug with the staff that I've seen about 4 or 5 times. But yeah, it's bad. Yeah, Kathy, what were you gonna say? Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's just I know I said I had no opinion on these, but clearly I do. So the thing about the mage, so I started with the mage. So I thought that was going to be my favorite class, and it wasn't because of the availability of all of these staffs. And so basically, like for the early game, you're only opening boxes to like be on shard patrol. Right. And then when you finally go to the forge to get something, you're hoping for the stone staff.
Yeah. And
then you get one of these. And so at first I was using them. When I tried this bolt staff, I swear I thought I was being trolled. I was like, what's happening? It's not even like, it's like the saddest. It's like if Spider-Man was like
drunk.
96 years old, shooting out his little spidey things for like a party trick. Look, kids. Look, I used to be somebody. And you're just like, yeah, Spider Grandpa. Chill out.
God, yeah,
it's like the saddest thing. So anyway, that's my opinion on this. And that's also my opinion on the mage is I feel like with all the potions and all that stuff for the mage, I almost feel like I'm playing support if I'm not very good at the game because I'm never going to get enough shards to hopefully get a good weapon, which is again like
it's a 1 in 3 it's a 1 in 3 chance of getting a decent weapon.
Yeah, so it gets really tough, and then you just end up using the other classes' weapons anyway, which is fine when I get my hammer.
I'll take a venom pistol over the bolt staff. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's true.
Me too. I think that also weapon weapon usage aside, the ice staff and the bolt staff both need to get the audio files reworked and redone, specifically the ice staff. So I don't like their firing sounds.
Yeah, no, I agree. Okay, so on to some abilities here. Blast Shot and Ice Wall came back. It was a wall before. It has pretty much the same abilities it had. Blast Shot came back. The idea of being able to shoot a sort of a blast in front of you and do damage. So the names have sort of changed a bit, but it's like if they brought a fireball back. So it's nothing new, but they are back new with the patch. So the only thing that really, really came in new was an ability that I wish they would have kept hidden. Just my opinion. So, Donut, say what you said when you first saw this.
Okay, so this is the first thing. I saw it. When I first saw it, before I used it, I was like, "Oh, sweet! We'll have a camouflage. We can go invisible and just flank and have an awesome getaway. Sweet! I love it." And then I used it. So it does turn you invisible. It turns you invisible. That's cool, but it's a movement ability. It's
a movement ability that slows you down.
This should not be a movement ability at all. This should be an ability, if anything.
Yeah.
If anything. Now,
I have that ability when I eat too much ice cream.
It makes no sense at all.
I'm gonna go invisible and I'm gonna stay right here, so when I come back, you can see me still.
It's like, it makes no sense.
Yeah.
The only point, unless you're hiding in a corner, waiting for someone to come into a house, and then they come in through the doorway, and then you go, "I'm invisible. You can't see me." That's the only time you can ever use this ability.
Yeah, exactly.
Otherwise, you can't do anything. You can't move. You can't do anything at all. So,
I would have loved this ability to be like a 1.5 movement speed, so like a little bit faster than you normally can. If they would have done that, this would have been the perfect ability.
Oh yeah, even if you kept the same movement speed.
Yeah. That you were really quiet and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I think it would be beautiful.
It would get away or turn a corner, or at least make them miss a couple shots so you could come back out of visibility and start opening fire again.
Yeah, and like you can't be heard. Like key thing, right?
If you get too close, I don't know if you guys know this. If you get too close to somebody, they can still see you.
Exactly. It's
so there's no point. At least disengage lets you roll away.
Yeah.
If you're close quarters to somebody, you go invisible, they can still see you.
I'm not here. Yes, you are.
You're
I'm not here.
You're just like a slow idiot walking, trying to run away.
Yeah, no, it's the thing is I think it just needs to be reworked. I think this is a brand new ability, so I'm okay with it needing some little bit of tweaks to it. They should have put this in a PTS before they put it into.
I think they need to change this ability to an ability and not a movement ability, and they should bring back Ghost Walk for Assassin.
You're just mad mages of Ghost Walk. let's just not talk. No,
Ghost Walk should be an assassin ability, and mages should be able to get something else. They can get their own. They can get their own ghost.
You can kill a mage for it.
Break something else on the mage is what.
Yeah. So I do want to say also the blast shot that they have. The blast shot is actually pretty good right now. It's got a good knockback. It's got a good damage. So we're not saying anything bad about the blast shot. It has some really good abilities. It's just we want to talk about the things that are actually new. But yeah, the blast shot has good knockback. It's got good damage.
I have seen a warrior heroic leap onto somebody, a blast shot, and kill them before they even use the weapon ability or weapon shot.
Yeah. It'll hit hard. It will hit hard. Okay, so stretch out, boys and girls. It's time to talk about the first sort of controversy of the week. So they made a patch. They made an update to the patch, and we were like, okay, they're going to fix some of the things that were broken. Again, let's not use the word broken. That just didn't go the way they thought it would be. I don't like using the word broken with alpha. It just wasn't the way they wanted it to be. But then they added these timers to everything. So when we first did it, it was there were timers for solos, and duos and squads didn't have it. Because basically what happened was solos had a timer, and squads you were fine at, and we were actually able to play pretty decently. We were able to jump into squad matches and pretty much have some fun games. Then they added timers to everything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stay out of this one. Kathy, Donut.
Go ahead, Kathy.
All right, I'll jump in. Jeez, why'd I have to be the first one? All right, it's just, I think it's a harsh reality that if the population has gotten low enough that we need the timer on squads, I think that's really bummy. It really bums me out to go because I still like playing and it's such a fun game.
Yeah.
I like that our squads are still all on, so I know where to find people when I want to play. But I don't know what to make of this. It really does bum me out. I feel like I know there were some issues, and maybe Donut, you can talk about it, of like things getting glitchy, and then if you get into a squad or not. I went in successfully every single time. But yeah, I don't know if there's much more to say.
Well, actually, there kind of is. So this is
actually
for me.
You guys.
This is actually sort of done, I think, the opposite of what Heroic Leap Games was trying to do, because there's been a very, very bad, and I don't like saying bad news, but there's been some very bad reactions to these timers. Yeah. We jumped up when for the first couple of days fairly nicely on the servers. A lot more people were coming in, a lot more people were playing, but what ended up happening was the servers are now dropping horrendously because people are going in, getting a timer, not getting into it, and then going further and having to do a second one. And for content creators like myself, Kathy, Donut, some of the ones in the community, you've got today 4 individual top streamers left playing Realm Royale because these timers were killing them, or the lag of being on the EU servers here in the NA. They couldn't do that either, and it was just murder. And it's being very, like, for me, I'm personal opinion here, and everybody knows I am, weirdly enough, I don't know why, I'm a huge, I'm a high res Realm Royale fanboy. I love this game. I want to play it till I'm in a wheelchair, and I don't need one of these awesome gaming chairs. I have a wheelchair gaming chair. That's what I want. But
so about a year from now.
2 years. No, but I'm as a content creator, it is very, very hard for me to be on stream and have these up to 9 minute gaps. I never get a squad game. I always have to wait 2 rotations. It happens a lot. Solos is not as bad, but duos and squads, it's just, nope, you didn't make that one. You wait around a little bit longer. And I'm somewhat entertaining, but trying to fill up 12, these 8-minute blocks between every game is very, very hard for me to do. Much less some of these really good streamers that we have out there. People want to come in and see them play, and they're watching the loading screen. So that's... Donut, what are you feeling?
Yeah, I agree. It's kind of like a double-edged sword for the community and the dev team. The dev team are doing this so that make sure they get full lobbies. Now, it makes sense, because you don't want to go into a VR game with 50, 60 people when you're supposed to be 100, unless you really want to win. Right. But still, it kind of takes away the fun of the game. So I understand the reason to have these queues. A lot of people say take the queues away, we can actually get games. That makes sense. That's one thing. But as of half an hour ago, right before the stream started, I checked on the Steam store page for Realm Royale, and there were 920 players online.
Yeah.
In total.
It just
split that 920 players between 3 categories, and then split that up into multiple different matches.
Yeah.
So
it's a hard place. It's a hard place for Heroic League to be in. I know this.
Now the duo timers and squad timers, it feels like, I don't know if it's something almost like a bug, because I doubt there's that little amount of people playing.
Right, exactly.
Because me and Stez were playing for a good couple hours the other night, and it was every second queue would get skipped. So we'd have to wait 2 queues every single time. So instead of a 5-minute timer, we'd wait 10 minutes for one game. Which is a big reason why I recently has been playing Paladins, because the queues on Paladins are like that, and Paladins is 3 years old?
Paladins is just insane. I mean, but we don't have the amount of people playing Paladins. That's the problem, and I know it's a double-edged sword. I just think that the community would be okay with smaller lobbies with quicker times than full lobbies and waiting these long amounts of time. This is my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think that's where we're sitting.
I agree.
I agree. Talk solutions. Yeah, because like I feel the same way, and it sounds like too. Like I think if the lobbies were smaller, no one would mind. I mean, most battle royales, when they're highly populated, you jump down, 50 people are already dead anyway.
Right. Exactly. So
you might as well start with 50 and end up with 25 and actually have a good firefight going on once you kind of gather some stuff. So I don't know. And the other thing that's coming up in chat that's like could be a solution is, if all modes went away and only just one mode was left, what would you guys say?
That's not going to happen. The problem is we're trying to get the competitive scene back in, so you need the solos, you need the duos, for the casual gamers, you need the squads, so you can get all your friends together, get in and play. They've got what needs to be there. It's just where they're trying to go. They're trying to make sure everybody has a good experience on each mode. The problem is because of that, it's making it difficult for us to have fun in these modes. Yeah. So I mean, the thing that I think at the end of the day, they're going to get either rid of these queues, or they're going to like, if say you go into a squad and there's not that many people, make it so the circles, just put a piece of programming, the circles come in quicker, so it'll feel like the same type of game. They're gonna fix it. It's just right now they're in a rough spot.
I agree.
Yeah. For me, I do feel like, I think if you had squads and solo, I don't think you need duo if the population's so low. That's just my opinion. I don't know the numbers behind it, but it makes sense to me mentally that like solos are for competitive, squads are for people who just want to squad up and have some fun with friends. And then if someone's going to duo, they can squad with no fill. And then that's a challenge too.
I'd flip that. I would do squads and duos if you're going to remove one, because a lot of the good solo players will go in and play against duos because they're that good. And with solos right now, there's this problem with teamers anyways. It's just a pain in the butt. So let's get rid of that thing as fast as possible. So yeah, that's just where we're at. So I don't want to harp on it. We know it's an issue, but hopefully we'll see this thing go away and fixed fairly soon. So second controversy. There was a pretty big controversy that happened this week, and it was the Gamepedia stream yesterday. Gamepedia came in, one of their streamers, Clucked. He came in and started playing Realm Royale. Now the first thing I noticed when I walked in, I was in Manhattan at the time, and I look on Realm Royale, and there's this Gamepedia with like 700 viewers, and I was like, what the expletives came out of my mouth. And he started playing, and this person had never played Realm Royale before. Okay, and it was really cool. We had the community, a lot of the community were jumping in. The one thing that they did do wrong, which which sucked, is they had that 5-minute timer. You had to wait to follow and wait for them to be able to talk at all. I didn't like that, but I think they fixed that like halfway through the stream or something. But the community was, first thing, what the F? Why do you have this? 1,000 viewers, 2,000 viewers, 3,000 viewers, and this kept going up. And what was going on is Gamepedia is part of Twitch. They are owned by Twitch. And they use what's called the embed function, where you can basically embed their stream within a website. So if a person is on that page, they're basically viewing the website. So Gamepedia has wikis all over the world for games all over the world. And on every single page, there is a embed of their stream, and you can actually see it on the right-hand column. So while they're playing, they're going on, and anybody who's on one of these wiki pages is actually a viewer of their stream. And this continues to get it going up. And at one point, it was up to 17,000 viewers. Now, there were people in the chat. I was one of them. I was like, what's this? And when they said embed, I was like, okay, I get it. Because for Dynasty actually has embedded each of their players, their actual stream inside their website so that they can see them. But since Gamepedia has done it on a much larger scale, they have a ton more viewers coming in. A lot of people were going bots. A lot of people were going pretty crazy over this. Now, for individual streamers, was this a good thing or a bad thing? My opinion is that it was a great thing, because of the fact that what Gamepedia did is Realm Royale is down right now at the bottom. I think we're 150th game or 50th game or something like that, overall games in the United States. With Gamepedia on, it brought it all the way up to, I think, like 30 or 20 or something like that. Like, it brought it up way up in the rankings, which when somebody goes in to view games, they look in and they see browse games, they see Realm Royale up at the top games, and then they jump in and see what's going on. We saw that within the actual stream. There were people going, what's this game? Oh, this is cool. I can download it. And they downloaded it while this guy was playing. Now, Crook 100% had no idea how to play this game. Zero. And so the stream was helping him, and eventually Coda jumped in, and he started streaming with them and showing him how to play the game. A lot of people didn't like this. They were like, bots, you're making everybody below us not being able to, we're not as high anymore on the Realm Royale channel and these type of things. But my belief is more people now know about Realm Royale, will now download it, play it, and come in and start watching in the future. So this is my quick soapbox of what happened. Donut, what's your thought?
Yeah, I agree. The first thought for most streamers would be not fair. I've worked hard to get to my spot of the viewer list, because obviously that does matter to each individual streamer. The higher up on the viewer list you are, the more viewers you will attain over time. Snowball effect. That I understand their point of view, but in this scenario with Realm Royale, you are 100% right. There's not enough viewers, not enough streamers to where one stream with 10,000 viewers that wouldn't have been on the channel anyway isn't gonna affect everybody else. It's not pulling away all their viewers, not taking anything away from anybody else. It's only helping the community and helping the game in the games category go up on Twitch as a whole. So I agree. It's definitely a good thing.
Yeah, no,
definitely nothing negative will come from this.
Yeah, well, my thing is like I know 100%. If I'm streaming and I see like Gentle or something like that, I know I'm getting dropped off. Like, I bet every once in a while you see me up at the top but then you see Mouse and those guys, boom, I know I'm going down. No big deal. That's fine. People will find me. It's sort of the same thing. If Gamepedia comes on a couple of times over the next couple of months, you're going to drop down for the time that they're streaming. Then when they jump off, the new viewers that were there that you got because of this, because it's so far up, they're going to trickle down to each of these other things. And I think it's honestly, it's Twitch going, hey, here's a new game. Let's look at this. We're trying to bring it up the charts. I don't think there's anything bad. Kathy, you have any opinions on this?
Yeah, I do. I think it's good for Realm. So I agree with you guys both. Like, it's really good for Realm. I was glad to hear that it happened. Octo, like, we were at New York Comic Con, and then all of a sudden I hear all this chatter about what's going on. Yeah. So once we came back, so basically, like, I think it's going to turn into something meme-ish, because it seems like Gamepedia, what they're doing is by like boosting their viewers so high and kind of like falsely by some people's standards, it is going to bring people down below them that are regularly streaming the game.
Yeah.
But like you said, I think the exposure increases, and that's great. So I think Gamepedia is kind of just, you can treat it almost like a tourist, like
Right,
we're
exactly.
the locals.
No, a group of a
beach.
big group of tourists that just come
Yeah, just
into
like a
and
bus
then leave.
drops
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only downside or something problematic that I can think of is if you're boosting your viewers that high in a community that we know doesn't currently have that many people, it does bring on the problems of tourism, which I think in this case, it looks like the game has this following, like a new following, but how many of those viewers are actually authentically watching the stream and commenting?
Right.
So
Yeah.
I think that that's the only time that it's really a win. So like I can see it from the side of if it takes someone away from the streamers who are locals, like it takes the business away from the locals to go to like this Starbucks moment of streaming, then there could be some negative things there. I think
there definitely
yeah,
could.
I think it's more positive than negative.
Right.
And I do think if you just treat it like a tourist in the moment, I don't think anyone's losing permanent viewers and
No, they're
subs
definitely
and things
not.
like that over it.
Well, now here's the thing just to know. Gamepedia cannot take subs or donations. So they're part of Twitch. So they're not going to take any subs, they're not going to take any money, they're not going to take any of that. They don't have that ability. So they're part of the Twitch family anyway. So basically they're basically what they do is they boost up games and be able to highlight games.
Yeah, so if it's simply a platform, I guess I don't see the argument, or I'd have to hear from someone who has the argument that it's truly negative.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I'm glad a lot of people got exposed.
Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I want to get embedded. Dear God.
Yeah.
That'd be kind of fun. So, anyways, that's just sort of I think it was a false issue this week, but I just want to bring it up because it was pretty important to our little community right now, and I did want to bring it up to everybody.
Of course.
So now some great things have been going on with the community, which has been absolutely great. So Jay Nash of Heroic Leaps, they updated the creator kit with new icons and stuff. So that's where we're getting all these great little icons that you're seeing on our stream today and so forth like that. They've got game sounds, characters, weapon icons, maps. They've got everything. So if you're a creator for Realm Royale, you can actually get into it. I've personally made a shorter link. So if you're on a podcast, you're listening, it's bit.ly/creator kit, one word. And you can go straight there and you can get these things for free. So Heroic Leaps has been nice enough to create this stuff for us and brought it in. And so go out and use them, make your stuff look great. It's just a good thing to have. Donut and Kathy don't use it as much. They make me do all this stuff over here. I'm the slave here, but we're not going to talk about that.
Perfect.
Yeah, great.
Another person, Burrito Brain. If you have ever seen him stream or been on streams with Baggins and such, big part of our community. He actually has created a introduction guide to Realm Royale, which is really, really cool. So basically what he's done is he's created a document and he's put it up on Google Docs. And basically what he did is it's a beginner guide to Realm Royale, talking about the basic mechanics of the game, the characters and stuff like that. I'll sort of put it up on, boom. No, that's not, I'm getting there. Here we go. So it's got the game mechanics, the weapons to use, what's the difference between the common, uncommon, the different weapons, the different abilities, runes, classes, even some let's jump into game type things. So it's a really great document to go through, especially if you're new and if you've been around for a while. There's stuff in there that you might not know. So we created another thing for this. So bit.ly/realm guide, one word. You can go to that and you can look at it, see what's going on, and even comment to Burrito Brain how you like it or what's going on.
Nice.
So it looks like Gamgee, that's the the other side of Hobbit. is making a website for it now, so that's going to make it really cool. So once we get that information, we will get that to you, maybe even next week. What do you guys think about this?
It's really cool.
Yeah, it's great. It's great to see the community making things, guides, and anything essentially for the game. It's great. It's a great thing. Any advice is better than no advice, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I agree 100%. I think it's a good thing that our community is actually allowing this and creating these type of pieces. It's just amazing. I actually I saw Burrito talking about this today, and I begged him. I was like, would it be okay if I talked about it on the thing today? There is, if you go to www.realmroyale.guide, you can get to this. So it's I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I really like it. And just so you guys know, it's real easy to read. If you're not a reader, there are pictures. But I think my favorite part that he did was the in-game part. Like he talks about what are the best places to drop and, you know, what you can learn. Because if you're expecting a regular battle royale that you know already, if you already play one, it is different because of the way the classes and everything are set up and forging items. So
yeah,
really
no,
cool.
it is really cool. So everybody, you'll notice if you're on stream, we lost Donut. He has to go pick up Lady Donut. So we're running a little long tonight. So Kathy and I will hold this thing down.
I will tell you all Donut's opinions about assassins. I already know them. They are stored in my brain. Don't you guys worry.
On here also is we have another piece that came out this week as well. And it is Allegro TV. He's actually been putting together this piece for quite a while. And he took all of the information from the weapons that we've been seeing over the last couple of weeks, the new PTS and everything, and put it into an actual very nice Excel document. So he's got a lot of information inside this thing, which I think is very nice to have. Talking about the rarities, the weapon damage, what type of elements they are, how well they do. So if you want to see this, bit.ly/RR numbers, and you can get there and get that to him.
Yeah, and just nerd out. Like you guys are super nerds and we're into it and we That's me. I should speak for myself.
Yeah, we're nerds. We're nerds 100%.
Yeah.
And so those three things this week came out: Allegro TV, Burrito Brain, and Jay Nash. I mean, they're amazing. They're all amazing community members, and it's really cool that they're able to bring these stuff out here. So I'm very thankful. Burrito's actually in chat. Thank you very much, bud. Allegro's not. We'll definitely talk to him later. But I'm really happy that the community is coming together with this. So last thing we got is future updates. We talked about this last week. Skill tree hopefully is coming. We talked about that. They're expanding what classes can find, weapons with alt abilities, the shoulder swap. We're not going to see that anytime soon, and armor maybe in the future. So that so far, we have not heard any new updates. They've been fairly quiet along the interwebs. I think they're trying to get the skill tree going, which will be very interesting. It'll be very fun to play with the skill tree. It'll be very interesting to see what streamers do with this. Kathy, what do you think you're most excited about the skill tree?
I thought the same thing that I talked about before, but like I like the idea that they can enhance a rune, so I'm excited to see what that's going to be like and all the other OP conversations we're going to have. And then the other thing I'm excited about is maybe building things out so that like your secondary abilities can be different, because even Donut was throwing around a lot of ideas for like crossbow secondary abilities, like a spray or just like a multi-shot. But what if you could just choose in a skill tree what you want based on how you like to play or where you like to drop or whatever it is. So that's what I'm excited for.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be, I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with this, but you know what, we'll see. They've surprised us a couple of times with stuff, so hopefully we'll see in the next day or so an announcement from Heroic Leap about, you know, what they're planning on doing, so we'll go. So we want to continue the ideas for Chris L. You know, again, did you guys, for those of you who don't know, we, before any of this stuff happened, called this Resurrection at the Fort. Hell, I was one of the first people that ever said the word resurrection. I've got it on audio. Day one. But classes bang back, starting with the basic movement ability, removing the SMG assault rifles, the burst, and the timer for resurrection. That popped up. I still think it was me. I still think that was me. But anyways, so things that we're wanting to we would like to see within the game: a kill cam, 5 to 6 man squads for fun every once in a while, a spectate mode, and custom games where we could create our custom games. So those are like 4 things that I would really like to see. A kill cam especially when you're like, how did he see me? What happened? What were they seeing? I really want to see that right now.
Yeah, for me, I really think that it's more like the buggy things. Like before we get any of these big asks, I really do feel like we're at the point where, even though it's an alpha, I want to see the loot go away. Like when you can see someone through the wall because you can see the loot.
That bug fix, yeah, that thing's
like it really helps me out, to be honest. But like if I'm the one, and I've played in squads and match against you guys, and if I'm the one getting the loot and Donut sees me, I don't want him to see me. So I think that could attract a lot more newer people who, if they drop in for a minute and they don't realize that's a bug because they don't have a community yet, then that could be a deterrent. So like a lot of the things that are deterring new people to come, and I think we talked a lot about timers, those types of things, some other solution would be really awesome. So hopefully if we see different solutions besides the timers coming on, maybe that was us too.
Correct. We have the chat like raging against our 5-6 man squads. I want the 5-6 man squads where you can communicate and be part of everybody be part of the team. A little different than what it was, because the chaos was fun. It was a fun, and especially when you're resurrecting you're one person, you're resurrecting 5 other chickens and they're running all over the place, and the chaos that is, it was just a fun mode. I liked it. I agree. A weekend mode or something. It's just something that would kind of be fun. Well, everybody, I want to thank everybody that came to the stream tonight. It means a lot to us. We've been having fun. It's episode 10. Kathy, I know, is kind of new. This is your 3rd podcast?
I think so.
Yeah, 3rd podcast. So she's now becoming an old school regular now. But everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. It means a lot, the support that we've been getting. People have been retweeting, sending this out. Thank you for coming around. And for the podcast, thank you very much for downloading the podcast. If you could give the podcast in Google, in iTunes, a thumbs up, give it a rating of 5 stars or something, if you could, it'll really help us get on the charts for Realm Royale and just from podcasts in general. Right now, we're the only Realm Royale podcast. So if we could get people to like look for Realm Royale and find us, that'd be a good thing. So,
and I have to say, like, shout out to Octo, because he was joking earlier, but he really does put this all together. And we come together because the community. So like, follow him if you love this, if you love what he's doing. This past weekend, he streamed a ton from New York Comic Con. So if you didn't get to see those, they're in the videos. You can replay them. There are so many clips to pull from the Comic Con streams. It's ridiculous, just based on what you like or what you're into. I know everyone was shouting out what cosplay they were looking for. So follow Octo for sure for that, and subscribe to him so you can keep this stuff going. Check me out if you like variety, if you like other team games. I love playing with friends. That's my deal. I'm mostly on Twitch for people, and then the games are just a part of it. So that's really amazing. And then Donut, if you really want to see people get wrecked and someone wreck people, and you just want to learn like anything, positioning, which loadout to do, it really is going to be Donut. He's so skilled, it's amazing. So thanks for watching.
He's definitely a monster. Definitely get on CathySoo. Definitely get on Donut. They're 2 just great people. So everybody, thank you so much again. You guys have an amazing night, and we will talk to you next week.